Hello everybody, I'm Thrash Maniac HD, and I am back here with another album review. And this is kind of requested by Boston Fan 79 V1. If you guys haven't subbed to him already, link is in the description box. He is one of the best YWC YouTubers I've ever seen. I mean, the guy knows what he's talking about. He's one of the older people in the YWC. I believe he's, like 30-something? Don't mean to say that in a bad way, but I think it's a good thing because at least he knows a lot about wrestling, and that's always a good thing for this community. But yeah, this is another album review, and it was requested by him. He requested I do Metallica. And of course, it was inevitable for me to do Metallica album review, but this is going to be the first episode of the Metallica Discography review. Which, if you guys don't know what discography means, it means the whole album catalog from a band or a group or artist, whatever. But, yeah, we're going to start with, for the Metallica discography, with the very first album from Metallica, Kill 'Em All, which came out in 1983, shortly after James Hetfield and Lars Ulrich and Cliff Burton kicked Dave Mustaine out of the band. And Dave Mustaine would later go on and form Megadeth, who is one of the all-time best metal bands. But yeah, for the first album with Metallica after Dave Mustaine was booted, in came former Exodus guitarist Kirk Hammett into the picture, and he's been in the band ever since. But the first album, Kill 'Em All, many people kind of regard this album as maybe the first thrash album. Some people may say it's one of the first. For me, I think this is kind of the first thrash album of in existence. I mean, I know there was like forms of it, like speed metal with bands like Venom and Raven, and even Judas Priest were speed metal a little bit before this album came out. But this was, in my opinion, the first true thrash album. Which thrash is a faster variety of speed metal, which is thrash metal. If you don't know what it is, it's basically combining new wave of British heavy metal bands like Iron Maiden, Motorhead, Def Leppard, Diamond Head, Raven, Venom, mixing it with speed metal and mixing it with hardcore punk, which came from bands such as Discharge, Circle Jerks, Bad Brains, Agnostic Front, Murphy's Law, bunch of bands in that scene. So they combined all these sounds in order to create thrash metal. And this album, Kill 'Em All, in my opinion, the first thrash album, which came out in the summer of 1983, I believe. And then a little bit after this, you had the first Slayer album, Show No Mercy, come out. So those two are hand in hand as far as the first thrash album, but I say Kill 'Em All. So to start off with Kill 'Em All, the first track we get is a classic, Hit the Lights, which was the first song that the band wrote together. Lars and James wrote this song together, and it's a pretty fast song, pretty heavy song, great guitar solo, awesome intro. I mean, I was just a big fan of this song. I loved it. I thought it was amazing. Then we get to the next song, The Four Horsemen, which is a great song, but the backstory behind this song was originally wrote by Dave Mustaine back when he was in Metallica in the early days. And the song was originally called The Mechanics, and it had different lyrics and stuff. While The Four Horsemen here is a great song, it was like a slower paced version of The Mechanics with different lyrics and a different song title. And like a subsection in the middle that's different than the actual song The Mechanics. Which, by the way, the song Mechanics would later be on the first Megadeth album, Killing Is My Business, and Business Is Good, which is faster. It's like pretty much almost like half of the length of The Four Horsemen. The Four Horsemen's a little over 7 minutes, but it's a great song. So yeah. Then we get, probably not counting Garage Inc., but the album Garage Inc., which I'll be reviewing that later in the series. But Motor Breath, other than from Garage Inc. and live albums, Motor Breath's the shortest Metallica song. It's only 3 minutes, 8 seconds. Very fast pace, great song. Like the drum intro in the beginning. I mean, I gotta say, Lars Ulrich, for as much shit as he gets for people saying he's not a good drummer. Oh, bullshit, kiss my ass. I think Lars Ulrich's a great drummer. People say, oh, he can't play anything. I'm thinking, he can if he wants to. It's all depending on what sound they're going for. And on this album, they were obviously going fast. And this was a fast song, so Lars did a great job on this song. Then we get Jump in the Fire, which was one of the only songs, at least from the early days, that were pretty much related to like hell and Satan and all that shit. But this is a great song, very cool sounding song with the guitars. And I loved it. I thought it was a pretty damn good song. Then we get to the next song, which is an instrumental called Anastasia Pulling Teeth, which this song was mostly a bass-oriented song. I didn't hear any guitars. It was only bass and drums, so it was a good rhythm section type of instrumental. And bass solo in the beginning, I mean Cliff Burton, rest in peace. In fact, hold on. In fact, rest in peace, Cliff Burton. It's a shame he's no longer around today. But he came up with the arrangement for this song with the bass solos and stuff, and I thought, holy crap, this guy is one of the all-time best bass players. He still is, despite having a short career. His influence and legacy will live on forever. Now we get to Whiplash, which is one of my personal favorite songs off this album. Really an amazing song. And that's really all I got to say about that. Then we get to Phantom Lord, which is another one of my favorites. And for this song, some people might know this song from it being covered. For ECW fans, the song was covered by a band on the ECW Extreme Music album, which came out in like the late 90s, I believe. I believe it was Anthrax, if I'm not mistaken, who covered this song. But this version of Phantom Lord's fucking amazing. Then we get No Remorse, which is another great song. Then we get probably one of the biggest all-time classics for Metallica fans, Seek and Destroy. Any fan of hard rock, heavy metal would know what this song is all about. One of the best metal anthem type of songs, and it's just amazing. I love how on the Live Shit Binge and Purge Triple Live album Metallica did 10 years later, they went on that song for like 18 minutes after like the first half was done. James just goofing around with the crowd. It was just great. But yeah, Seek and Destroy is an amazing song. If I had to say, I'd say it's the best song on this album. Now we get to the final track, probably one of Metallica's most thrashy songs, Metal Militia. And holy crap, the riff on this album was just unbelievable. James Hetfield, I would say, is the second best riff master in heavy metal, right behind Tony Iommi from Black Sabbath. James Hetfield, when he writes riffs, he does a great job with it. So, yeah. But yeah, that's all the songs from Kill 'Em All. Overall, Kill 'Em All, such a fantastic album. It's just one of those albums that broke a lot of barriers in the world of heavy metal back in the early 80s. This album was the beginning point for thrash metal to come, with other bands such as Slayer, Megadeth, Anthrax, Testament, Exodus, Overkill, Nuclear Assault, and the list goes on and on with thrash bands from this particular time period. This album opened the floodgates for all that to come. And so Metallica Kill 'Em All, if I had to rate on a scale 1 to 10, I'd give it an 9.75 out of 10. A near perfect album, but their next couple albums kind of topped it. But we'll begin to that in the next episode of the Metallica Discography Reviews series. But I want to hear your guys' opinions. What did you guys think of Kill 'Em All? And if you guys want to listen to it, if you guys don't have the album, go buy it. But if you don't have the money to buy it and you just want to see it on YouTube or listen to it on YouTube, There will be a link in the description box for you guys to check out. Kill 'Em All by Metallica, a fantastic album. Highly recommended to any hard rock, heavy metal fan. It's amazing. But anyways, see you next episode.